Alright, well, looks like I'm back online again. Anyway, appreciate you stopping by and listening to my videos. Unfortunately, the sound, the video in my videos is not very good. Um, I take these videos as I'm doing my evening walk, and sometimes I am in the light and sometimes I'm in the darkness, and so um, it's not really clear sometimes what my facial expressions are, I'm sure, to you, but you know, you got some information, maybe not all the information you need, but some information. So let's see, what's on my mind today? Well, today's the 10th of December, and what's interesting is that the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine got approved today by the FDA, or at least some representatives of the FDA, which cleared the vaccine for shipping. And I also heard that California will be getting approximately 1 million doses in the next couple days. What's interesting is that I think I read an article that said that there were like 21 million healthcare workers in the United States. And I would not be surprised to discover that there are 1 million healthcare workers in California. So that amount of vaccine is definitely not going to be enough to give to the general public for a while. And it's interesting to hear some estimates about when the general public will get the vaccine. It looks like will likely not be until March, which late March perhaps. So we'll see how things go. That's definitely going to put a damper on, I guess, my excitement about the vaccine showing up. 3 months is a long, long time in coronavirus years. In coronavirus years, let me tell you, 3 weeks is a long, long time. So anyway, that's interesting. Well, at least the process has started, and I appreciate that in terms of infection control here in the States. Let's see, what else is going on? California Notify came online, which is an app designed to use a telephone's Bluetooth connectivity, their Bluetooth connection, to handshake with other users and provide information about, say, the voluntary divulging of a person's COVID test results. So we'll see if people start putting information into the apps, so people can get a sense about what I guess you would call the sort of I guess it'd be called like your community, sort of a subjective, some kind of a view. I guess, what would I call it? It would be called like the transmissibility. It'd be kind of like your sort of like a personal transmissibility estimate. I guess I could just use those words. I just came up with that phrase. It'd be a personal transmissibility sort of estimate, because who knows how close you got to these people. You may have just gotten 10 feet away from them, and if that's the case, then chances are no transmission took place. But you could get some kind of estimate about your own personal exposure levels and probabilities, so that's pretty good. So I think it'll also give a person sort of a feel for their own behaviors, and maybe it'll put a check on some of those behaviors too, if that person finds themselves in a place where they're getting a lot of pings. So that's pleasing to know about. So I got that. I actually downloaded that on my phone this morning, and activated it, and so that's pretty cool. Little piece of technology right there. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Is there anything that you'd be interested in? Oh yeah, this morning I did an entire workout. It'll be my first workout that I did using the Strong app to record the Strong app to record my workout routine, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed using it. I discovered that it's got a few more functions that I didn't realize it had, namely the timing of rest breaks. So that was really nice. I appreciated that. We all need to time our rests. Well, maybe we don't need to, but it's kind of nice because I think that timing my rest periods will help me have more efficient workouts. Because here's the thing, quite often I will wait a little longer than I may need to. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who might wait 2 minutes instead of 1 minute, which is fine in terms of sort of making each one of my sets as effective as they can be. But what it does is it lowers the intensity of my workouts, and it also keeps my workouts going maybe longer than needs to be. So, I appreciate that automatic timer showing up in the app, and we'll see just how much that changes my workouts day to day. I think it'll have a positive effect, namely by making my workouts more intense, making my workouts more consistent, and also cutting down the duration of my workouts. So, I mean, that's 3 points for having that automatic timer go. One thing I discovered about using the timer is that I really like using it, or using the app is that I really like using it. It doesn't take undue attention away from my lifting routine, and it doesn't require that I press a lot of buttons, and so I'm really pleased by that. I like apps that particular. Here's the thing, when I'm weightlifting, I'm pretty much just weightlifting, and I don't have a lot of time to fiddle with my smartphone, and I just want to get the project done, the project of lifting weights, and I don't want to fiddle with unnecessary alarms or beeps or button presses, but I also want a recording of things that's accurate. So anyway, I think this software is going to provide what I want to provide in a way that's efficient for me as a user. So I'm really glad about that. Walking around here, walking around the block here, just prior to Christmas, late December. Well, actually, we're early December still. Is pretty interesting. I get to see just everybody's lights and what they're doing, and it's pretty neat to watch the so I am appreciating all the Christmas lights and all the creativity that's gone into the designs and displays that people have put together, all these homeowners. It's pretty neat to see people sort of being enthusiastic about the holidays. It's kind of interesting to me too. I wonder, Well, I wonder whether people are more enthusiastic about the holidays this year or less enthusiastic because of coronavirus. I have a suspicion, a sneaking suspicion, that people are more enthusiastic about the holidays now, but I have no way to know that. Um, because this is the first time that I've walked around Goleta during the holiday period. Usually I don't walk around Goleta, at least in years past, so I really don't have any basis for knowing just how into the holidays people sometimes get. So that's kind of interesting. I just sort of have a supposition that people are more interested in the holidays, and my reasoning behind that is that, I think sometimes people just want peace and they want a place to focus their attention in a way that's comforting to them. And quite often I think the holidays serve as that role. And not only that, but people also have more time, since a lot of people are sheltering in place or at home during this period. There's a lot more time to consider what they can do with their decorations and their displays. They can put more energy and, both physical and creative energy into what they're putting together. So anyway, that's my suspicion. I don't know if it's an accurate suspicion, but maybe it is. I guess maybe what I can do is I can ask someone who's been around during the holidays and ask them if there seems to be more energy put into the holidays. I'm not sure, of course. Let's see, what else is going on? One thing I want to acknowledge is that personally I have not necessarily felt over anxious regarding COVID, and I'm glad for that. For example, I sort of read with curiosity things that are showing up in the newspapers and on television and in my conversations, but I do have just a really strong sense of detachment, which is kind of interesting. I didn't necessarily predict that was going to happen. It's kind of a surprise. I guess I'm recognizing that there's a lot to pay attention to in this world, and some of it has to do with infection and transmission rates of corona, but then 99% of what's going on in the world is not related to that. So, or I don't know, maybe 90% of what's going on in the world is not related to that. So maybe that explains it. Anyway, let's see what's going on. What else is going on with me? Oh, I'm looking up in the sky and I'm seeing that Jupiter and Saturn are up near the horizon over there. Two planets that I can see from a distance, and it looks like they're converging onto one another. And so that's pretty cool. I think I read some report saying that eventually they're going to get really close to one another from our view as we see them in the sky. So that's kind of exciting to see that kind of convergence happening. I've also been noticing the march of Mars. The planet Mars is also up there, and I'm noticing it. It's over the last few months I've been noticing it's sort of traversed across the sky, the night sky, and I've just been enjoying seeing Mars and pointing it out in the sky, and that's pretty exciting too. Or at least it's intriguing, and it makes me realize, I'm sort of a modern, and I want to, thinking about, I was thinking about how do we as moderns sort of understand the sky compared to um, ancient people. And it occurred to me that I mean, I can look at the sky and recognize planets and stars and know what they are and where they are. But as a modern, but an ancient person wouldn't really know that information, and would be mystified by it. And it's intriguing to me to consider how ancient people, the ancient people looked up into the sky and really did not know or could not explain what the lights in the sky were. To a modern, certainly a scientist modern, I can look up and say, wow, look at the stars. And those stars are burning brightly on account of the fusion reactions that are going on inside. And I could break out planets and stars and recognize which planets are gaseous and which ones are rocky. And I can get a sense of their movements as they sort of happen as the Earth rotates as we spin or revolve around the sun in our orbits, consistent with the solar system. And that's such a different idea of the sky compared to, say, a primitive, or I should say, an ancient person's understanding of the sky. Not that that's primitive. In fact, I wanted to make sure that I take that back, because I'm sure that there was lots that they contributed and understood about the sky, facts and ideas that even I am not aware of. But the ancient world just had quite a lot of different conceptions about, or maybe even no conceptions, or I don't know, their concept. I don't know how to describe their conceptions about the sky, but they're definitely not a modern's conception of the sky. And anyway, that's somewhat intriguing, and just wanted to point that out. So yesterday I ate some dessert, which involved eating some chocolate frosting, and I was reminded about just how much I love chocolate frosting. It's kind of funny for me to bounce from the sky to frosting, but that's where we are. And I tell you, there's something about frosting that I love. One thing I'm recognizing about myself and my own sort of preferences for taste and food is that I really appreciate smooth food. Like, I'm a really big fan of plain Greek non-fat yogurt. I think a big part of the reason is because it's really smooth. Now, you would think that I might particularly enjoy cottage cheese, but I don't. And I think a big part of the reason I don't necessarily care for cottage cheese is that it's not smooth. But if it were smooth, I might enjoy it more, which is interesting. It's kind of funny. In some foods, I like to have sort of structure and like granularity, but in other foods, I like to have smoothness. And to tell you the truth, I think I like smoothness more than texture. So anyway, I really like smooth foods, and that's maybe part of the reason I like Greek yogurt and chocolate frosting so much. I also like ice cream a lot. So anyway, I'm going to put in my mind the goal of finding more smooth foods to eat. I wonder if things like gelatin, like Jello, would be described as smooth. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye bye.